Hello and welcome. You're with Times of India, and as the exit poll results for Loksabha 2019 are out, they seem to be giving an overwhelming majority to the ruling NDA. But what are the limitations? And to discuss more about these exit polls, I've got with me our data scientist Rishabh. Rishabh, can you take us through the exit poll results that have come right now?
Most exit polls, Sanjeev, seem to be giving the NDA a pretty healthy majority. A poll of polls that we set up essentially is giving the NDA north of 300 seats. Now, we have to remember they only need 272 seats in order to get a majority. Having said that, though, there is significant variance within all of these exit polls. You have India Today Access My India, which is giving the NDA 357 seats. You have to remember this is an increase even from their mammoth 2014 tally. And then you have Seawater, which is giving an NDA a much lower 287. Out of all the exit polls that we have observed, ABP News and Nielsen both are giving the NDA much lower projections than these as well.
So there is a lot of variation as we discussed, Rishabh. 287 to 357, that's almost 70 odd seats that the variation we're looking at.
So one, there is that, Sanjeev, and two, again, we have to remember that these are only exit polls. These are not the final results. And exit polls have had a spotty history in this country. And we also have to remember that before we get too carried away, in 2004, the exit polls did get it wrong. So again, our viewers are advised to take these results with a huge pinch of salt, even though they are giving us very clear early indications.
So, despite the caution being advised by Rishabh, as we can see that the numbers clearly show that the trend is in favor of NDA as of now. Rishabh, if you can take us through, let's talk about the important states. Just take us through what UP numbers for UP.
Now, UP is showing extremely wild variances, Sanjeev, because again, our poll of polls is giving the NDA 43 out of 80. The Mahagabandhan 35 out of 80, and the Congress just 2 out of the 80 seats. Having said that, you again have very, very major variances, because this is the Times Now VMR poll, and this poll, as you can see here, is giving the NDA 58 and the Mahagabandhan only 20.
It's almost like it's flipped.
Absolutely, right. And at the same time, if we look at the Seawater poll, this is giving the Mahagabandhan 40, the NDA 38. The India Today Access My India poll is giving the Mahagabandhan only 13 and the NDA 65. And at the same time, the ABP News poll is giving the Mahagabandhan 56 seats. So we are seeing these extremely huge variances.
Rishabh, if you can just tell us more detail about why these variances come, because I think if you can go back 2 tabs, so you will see that just go back. Next one. Here, I think this is like playing safe. So, even if there is a bit of variation, you can say that, we were almost there and thing. But how do they arrive at these figures, and, why should we take them with a pinch of salt?
Now, exit polls have 2 main problems, Sanjeev. One is what we call preference falsification, because a lot of voters don't always tell the truth to pollsters about who they're going to vote for. So you can at times have voters who claim that they voted for a party when instead they might have voted for a completely different party. The second big issue is whenever there's a grand alliance, it's very difficult to really predict what the electoral outcomes of that are going to be. Now, we saw this in Bihar in 2015 assembly elections, where all the exit polls had BJP sweeping the state, but instead the Mahagabandhan in Bihar ended up coming to power. So, because of these 2 issues, preference falsification and the issue of
2 parties coming together.
It's very difficult to really get these figures.
Just to put in perspective, what Rishabh is saying that, a lot of people who travel to UP, there was also, wide range of opinion coming from them. Some of the people said that, that the vote transfer between the SP and BSP was almost 80%. While some said that it's the Modi factor which is sweeping over everything. So we've not had like one sort of common meeting ground between these opinions. That is what I think that's what's being reflected in the numbers also as far as UP is concerned.
Absolutely, Sanjeev. And again, we have to advise our viewers that again these numbers are all indicative. Take them with a huge pinch of salt, because as you have seen, anything from 20 seats to 56 seats for the Mahagabandhan seems to be possible right now.
Rishabh, let's look at other key states. One state where we saw a lot of clashes and violence was West Bengal, where Narendra Modi is in direct clash with Mamata Banerjee, the chief minister. What do the numbers say for West Bengal?
So again, one, we see a very clear trend, Sanjeev, which is that all pollsters are claiming that the BJP will multiply its tally multifold. They only won 2 seats in 2014. Now, C-Voter and Times Now VMR are giving the BJP 11 out of 42 seats in West Bengal. So clearly,
Wow.
that's a pretty big increase. But
This is a big number.
this is a big number, Sanjeev. And
Yeah.
if this were to hold true, this would completely change electoral politics as we know it in India. Because this would basically mean that the entire vote base of the left, the entire vote base of the Congress, and a large chunk of the vote base of the Trinamool Congress has all shifted to the BJP.
This would also indicate that perhaps the Hindu voter portion of the TMC's Hindu voter also has shift sides towards the BJP. So if the NDA gets anywhere above, I think 12 to 15 seats, then alarm bells are surely ringing for Mamata Banerjee in the state.
You're absolutely spot on there, Sanjeev. And at the same time, if the NDA does hit this kind of number in West Bengal, then the projections that Access My India is giving of 357 seats for the NDA, they don't look that far off. As well.
Rishabh, even if you look at Bihar, they've given 39 out of 40 seats to the NDA.
They have given 39 out of 40 to the NDA, Sanjeev. And even if we look at a state like Chhattisgarh, where they've given 7 out of 3, remember BJP was routed in this
Yeah.
state in the assembly elections. In Madhya Pradesh, where as early as December we saw the Congress come to power in the state, they have given BJP 27 out of 29 seats.
The other state, Karnataka, despite the Congress and JDS fighting separately in 2014, they still had a healthy number. Congress was in double digits, almost in double digits in Karnataka last time. Here we see that despite them coming together, NDA has been given 23 seats.
So yes, Sanjeev, but again, Karnataka, we have to remember that unlike other states, in Karnataka, JDS's sphere of influence is extremely small. It's mostly in the
South.
old Mysuru, South Karnataka region, as you said. So these numbers are, again, if there is a BJP wave that's sweeping through Karnataka, then these numbers could
be true.
Could be true.
So, Rishabh, quickly, we'll go back to the poll of polls. We'll go back to that slide before we finish. So, again, these exit polls come with a lot of riders. They are sort of indicators, but not exactly what's going to happen. But this sort of gives you an idea of what to expect. And so far, if you look at all the trends from all the major news channels that have put out the numbers, it's advantage UPA. Rishabh, quickly, we'll just do a recap before we end.
So, a quick recap, Sanjeev. Point number 1, the NDA seems to have a clear advantage. Point number 2, there is wild variance in predictions, in particular in West Bengal, in particular in Uttar Pradesh. And point number 3, do not count anything out right now, because in this country we have seen many elections so far, and exit polls might or might not be a very clear indication.
Thank you so much, Rishabh, and thank you so much for watching. So, do stay tuned into the Times of India for live updates.